Hey people, Real Wolfhard here. That was my pedal board, a little demonstration. I didn't use all my pedals. Today I want to talk about it. I want to talk about my pedal board. So yeah, this thing took me about 10 years to kind of get together, and you know, it's not a it's not rocket science, obviously. There's a couple of things on here that are really useful for my sound, and a lot of it is just pure enjoyment and pure fun. And a lot of these pedals on here, they come off and they go on and I swap things all the time. Especially this place right here. Right now I have this Boss Super Overdrive, and that's because I'm playing through my Marshall. And I'll show you that in a minute, what the Super Overdrive does with the Marshall. It's a very classic combination, and that has a good reason. There's a good reason for that. But that position is being swapped all the time. Like, I love to play with overdrive pedals. I got this BB preamp right here. I got the AC boost. I did videos on most of my distortional overdrive pedals that I have. I love to play with fuzz pedals. First thing I got on my pedal board right here is my tuner. And that's the only pedal that's actually not going through this Voodoo Lab. What did we call it? I forgot the name, but that's a Voodoo Lab pedal switcher. And basically all my pedals except the tuner are going into the Voodoo Lab power switcher. And the Voodoo Lab power switcher, basically what it does, it just well, actually you can do a couple of things, but I just use it to have a pure signal when I'm not going through any other pedals. And because I do use this pedal live, I mainly use it as a studio pedal board. So when I want to record bass guitar, or I want to just have the clean, straight guitar sound, that's what the Voodoo Lab pedal switcher is for. I don't have to go through all the pedals and get my tone sucked out by all these pedals. No, I can just go through the Voodoo Lab, and basically the tone goes in here, goes through a bunch of gold relays and stuff, and comes out of the Lele and then into the amp or into the DAW directly. So that's what the Voodoo Lab is for. So let's say I want to engage my first real pedal, except the tuner. This is my number one, basically the fuzz pedal. It's the CFX. I really like that one because a lot of fuzz pedals, they make your sound really dark. They make it dark and fat. And this one makes your sound fat, but not dark. See what I mean? This is my straight tone. Already is kind of fuzzy. And now with the CFX, man, I love that pedal. It just makes, you can have all kinds of options for that thing. And you can get crazy with that. But yeah, I got it dialed in so it sounds nice to me. And I haven't touched that settings for a while. Next one. Number 2, and normally I leave when I'm playing live. This is the one that always stays on. This button right here, this switch. Because this is my wah, and I really like to engage the wah the traditional way, but just, you know, pushing it down. And if I wouldn't have this one on, it's a kind of pain in the ass playing live, because then I would have to push it on first and then push my wah on. And sometimes I forget if my wah is on or not, and it doesn't have an LED, so you don't know. Yeah, so it's just easier to leave that one on if I'm using that pedalboard for live gigs. Yeah, and it's the Sack Wild wah, and I tend to switch wahs quite often actually, but it's a nice one. I heard this Sack Wild wah. The first time I heard it was actually not with Sack Wild, but by Michael Emmett, and he was using it with the Spiritual Beggars. And it was back in 2016. I went on tour with my band with the Spiritual Beggars. We were supporting them on a Europe tour, and I heard Michael Emmett playing the Spiritual Beggars, and he just had this fantastic wah sound. So later on, I went when we were taking off all stuff from the stage. I got a chance to look on his pedal board, and I actually talked with his technician also, and I could see which wah it was. It was the Sack Wild one. So for me, it was no question I wanted that wah, because it just had a fantastic tone. Listen to that. Now, all this stuff is inspiring me and fun for me to play. It could be any wah. Right now it's the Sack Wild wah. Next pedal in line is the good old Phase 90. It's the Van Halen edition. I don't have the script mode engaged. Right now it's turned up all the way, and you get this, the sound you get, like this one right here. Like this for me is like the underwater sound. It's just, I don't know why, but I have to think like I'm drowning and I'm full of drugs, which I'm never. I don't take any drugs, believe me. But this is just what it reminds me, like this psychedelic, trippy underwater sound. Especially with a little bit of reverb. You know, kind of this dreamy thing. But of course you can do other settings with this one as well. But that's like one of my favorite settings with that thing. This one's nice too, of course. Like more of the classic swirly thing. And actually, I only got that Phase 90. We were in productions of the album Free with my band Wolf Spirit, and we were doing that production with Michael Wagner. And so during the production we went to, what do you call that store in the US? Not Musicland, Guitar Store? It's one of the really big ones. I think it's called Guitar Land or Guitar Store, something like that. Anyway, Michael like went up to me and said, "You should buy that pedal." So, you know, when somebody like that tells you, you just do it. There's no question about it. Besides that, it really is an awesome pedal, and I'm having fun with that one. Next one in line, Super Overdrive, a classic one. And as I said, I'm using it right now because I'm going into my Marshall, and it just tightens up your sound a lot. Like, let me turn off that reverb. This is the straight guitar sound. Nice fat sound. On its own, very nice, but when you play in a band, it's too fat actually. So you can just do this. See, it just makes it a little bit tighter. It just kind of cleans it up while giving you more distortion, and that's like a really cool trick. Not many pedals have that. I mean, there's lots of options how you can get there, but the classic, this is like a classic option, just the super overdrive. Just a tiny little bit too fat without the super overdrive. So this is kind of a pedal that when I'm, that kind of always stays on for me. But right now, not. Right now, I'm gonna turn it off. So till here, this is kind of like my basic setup pedals that I use very, very often. The fuzz, the wah, the phase, and of course some kind of overdrive or boost pedal. That's like, and after that now begins the experimental section for me. These are pedals I don't really use that much. Okay, so this is the my tremolo. I would love to turn on the reverb right now, but I would have to do some adjusting with the power, because I just don't have enough power right now. But see how nice that one is? And you can go crazy with that. Do something like that. Yeah. Now, as I said, I don't use that pedal that much, but I do love to play with that. It's fun. Next in line, my park pedal. Again, I need to power it up first, and this is a really cool pedal. So basically it turns your guitar into some kind of monster organ sound, because it's just like on an organ you have these little registers that you can pull to add an octave up or down, and this is exactly what the Park is doing. Next in line, this one's a crazy pedal too. Yeah, the ring modulation by Muke. This one's a crazy one. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to get like a... Like, don't ask me where that fucking ringing is coming from. Like, that's the kind of pedal that I really like to experiment with but it also kind of makes me crazy, and it's a really specific sound. I do not use that one very often. I really don't use that one that often. And last real pedal would be my Reverb pedal by TC Electronic. Right now I got it set to a spring reverb, and because it's going into the front end of the amp, I got all the distortion on the reverb as well, which normally is not what you want, but my old Marshall right here does not have an effects loop, so it's the only thing I can do, and I actually like that sound anyway. Like, this is just like Monster Magnet for me. It's just a really, really cool, inspiring sound. Yeah, and last but not least, I'm going out of the pedal switcher and into the layler. And what the layler is doing, it's basically splitting my signal into two signals that I can either go into two different amps and just switch these amps right here. Right now I'm just going into my Marshall. Or you can do different other things, like what I often do is I go into a real amp, like the Marshall, and then record with the aux box. But you can also then go through and turn off and turn on that other one as well. So now I'm going output A and output B at the same time, and I can record a DI signal, for example, so I can reamp later on if I decide that I don't like my Marshall sound. I can also plug in a bass amp, for example. Yeah, you can do all kind of experiments with the layler. It's just a cool, like the layler is like it's not fun like a wah or a fuzz pedal, but it's just really useful. And I've got all my pedals here on the rock, or on the pedal train thing. It's just inside a road case, and that's it. Yeah. So people, that's my pedal board. Really easy. Took me a long time to gather all the stuff together, but it's not complicated. Most of it, as I said, it's just for fun. There's a couple of ones that I do use quite often, like the wah and the super overdrive, or whatever overdrive I'm using. Of course, the tuner. It's like the most important pedal. And yeah, people, hope you liked this video. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.